Hello, welcome to Simply Linux, and this is just a little follow-up video. I'm not actually opening anything, I'm just going to have a quick talk, right? And it's a couple of comments where it says, well, the CLI is useful for tinkering, it's nice that it's there, and it really is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn the CLI or that the CLI isn't useful. Any new users to Linux, which is what I really made this video for. It's for those that are scared to come to Linux because they've heard rumours or people just say, oh, you don't want to use Linux, you have to go into the command line to be able to do anything. And I just wanted to prove that's absolutely bunkish, It's not really meant for us that know Linux, that have been in it for years or weeks or months or whatever, that already know this, but it wasn't for that. It's for the users who have no inclination whatsoever to ever want to type anything in unless they have to. Even on Windows, to fix something, they will be asked to open up a command or a PowerShell and write this command in, or a PowerShell command. Recently my son, who has Windows 10, he decided to upgrade his computer. I thought I'd just tell you this story. He decided to upgrade his computer and he's changed his motherboard and stuff. Of course, like, the activation's gone no. And we tried to activate it, and of course in the tools you couldn't. So it's a valid Windows 10 license. He isn't trying to use it on two machines. He was actually transferring from one machine to another. So we phoned up Microsoft and he had to get us open the command and follow the instructions that the bloke told him, and he managed to get back online. So even on Windows there are certain times where you will need the command line. On Linux it's a bit different. For a start, there's no activation, but when things do go wrong, and things will go wrong, there are times where the graphical server, for instance, won't show its face. Hello Arch, I am just saying, you've gotten better of late, but there have been times where you've frustrated me, my friend, and where you have to go in and tinkle with the command line. And so you're off to the forum and they say, well, open up your terminal, or if your terminal is already open because you got no CLI, like, I mean, you're stuck with something, I'll say, well, log in and do sudo whatever command, or if you're using a distro without sudo, su, enter your password and enter this command, and you listen or watch what they're saying. So yes, the command line is very, very valuable. There are a lot of instances where the command line is actually favourable to the graphical user interface. I don't think you can easily, and if anybody wants to correct me, resize pictures, 5 million pictures, okay, maybe not 5 million, let's say 500,000, that's 500,000 pictures. And believe me, there are people there with 500,000 photographs and they want to resize them. And in CLI, it's one command. It really is. It's just one command. It's one little typing session, and you let it go away, come back, and it's done. I don't think anything in GUI land can even cope with that, or converting from one movie format to another. Yes, they are GUI tools to do that if you want to do one or two. But if you really want to do that, you get ffmpeg up in a command line, type a small ffmpeg, little line there, the command, and voila, all your videos are converted from, say, MP4 to whatever. So yes, the command line is very, very powerful, especially for scripting, automating. But a lot of users, the 99% of computer users, don't want to. They just want to sit down, click their Google Chrome, Firefox, whatever browser, hit Facebook, post. That's it. Or they want to watch a movie, so they're on Netflix. Or if they've got their own movies, their own little AVIs on the USB stick, they plug it in, double click, and VLC comes up, and they're watching their movie. They don't need the command line, is what I'm saying, for 99% of computer users. The command line is not used, only if it breaks, and if it breaks, they're off to a forum, or off to whatever, Ubuntu Answers, whatever the site anyway, regardless, to get the answers. They've done their Googling, and some people don't even do that, they'll just come in to a forum and ask the question, have you Googled, have you even searched the forum? There's a search bar in every forum. Well no, they'll ask the question anyway, and we will answer. You know, we'll try to help them out the best way we can. And that's where the command line comes into its own, is when you need, where it's there when it's needed. There are those people, of course, that live in the CLI. I mean, literally live in it. They don't even have X server running whatsoever. They can play their music, they can do video through MPlayer. They can surf the web using links or e-links and other browsers. Yeah, there's no need to have a GUI. Not at all. No need to have a graphical user interface whatsoever for a lot of tasks. So there we have it. That's my little video and the answers to a couple of, I mean, they're fair comments. I mean, they really are fair comments, you know. Saying, well, it's nice that it's there, and it's nice to tinker, and it is. But I try to use the car analogy in my comment there, where a lot of people just want to get in their car, start the engine and go, and if it breaks down, they phone the AA in England, or the AAA in America, whatever. Or they phone a local garage, or whatever the issue is, you know, somebody fixes it for them. Those with Microsoft operating systems have got some kind of contract with Microsoft when they've bought it, where they can phone up and say, listen, this is wrong, can you help me with this? Also with Red Hat and Conical as well, I guess, for paid services. For those with a free OS though, like Linux, where what I mean by free is that you've downloaded free, you're not paying for any service contract. We have the forums. Or you have to like the 18-year-old savvy person, savvy kid that knows his way around. You get the idea. I know it's a stereotype, but it's often the way. There are people who can't even set the clock on their microwaves, you know, and I'll sit down at a computer, and once it's gone wrong, you know, but not once will they ever hit the command line. They just won't. For most of them, they'll see the word terminal and they'll think, oh dear, he's terminal. He's going to die. No. Maybe they should name terminal something else. But yeah, terminal emulators, of course, and many of them. A lot of people don't know anything about computers whatsoever. A lot of people have been using Windows for 20 years, wouldn't even know what a partition was if you smacked the hard disk upside their head. They just wouldn't. Do you know what a partition is? They see a C and a D drive, C for whatever, D data, and they're happy with that. They have no idea that they're split into two partitions. And nor should they care. They don't need to reinstall their OS, or very rarely, and if they do, it's next, and it's done. Windows computers, OS X, come preloaded. They've never had to reinstall. So it's a learning curve even for Windows users to install an operating system, which is quite annoying for when they come out to Linux and they find an install that's broken, like I had with Netrunner, like Steve's video he had with Netrunner. He found a CLI, the installer that broke. Calamaris would install for him. Now what if a new user just happened to run Netrunner for any reason? It wouldn't be my first choice, but maybe he's just looked on Dristo Watch and he's scrolling down. Oh, Netrunner sounds good. Might be good for the internet. Could be good for Facebook. Goes, tries to install the Calamaris. No chance. Things are good. Things are getting better in Linux. But my argument, well, it's not even an argument. I was just saying, there's no need for command line. An average user, Joe Blokes, does not need the command line unless something goes wrong. But I didn't point that out in the video. I just pointed out when everything's working fine, and it should run fine, to be honest. Even the updates should be tested. Updates really should be tested. And it's very rare. I mean, I'm running OpenBox on this right now, but my Trinity is the original install 2015, and it's had 4 years of updates, and in those 4 years I've not had one breakage, not one, where I've had to jump into the CLI and fix it, not one. It has just worked every single update. Now, I'm lucky. There are those, if it was perfect, there wouldn't be no forum, right? And so, yes, we have a forum, a piece of Linux OS forum, and things do go wrong. Things do go honestly wrong. No Linux, no OS is perfect. People, it's just how it is. Things break with different levels of hardware, or there are conflicts in software that shouldn't be there, but is, because maybe the user hasn't updated in a while or something. But as I said, I've done a video where I've updated from 2015 to 2019, including the kernels and 2 stages of Trinity DE, and it came straight up, not a problem. And it is how it is, and that's very cool. Anyway, I just wanted to make this to say, listen, I'm not against command line. I use it myself. Some things are just faster, some tools are just better than the CLI counterpart. For instance, HTOP for seeing system resources. It is just better than anything the CLI has. The GUI has, I'm sorry. It really is. I mean, I can, I don't even have a GUI system monitor on here, I don't think. Nope, I just have HTOP. And that's fine, but even HTOP is a click, you know what I mean? So I'm not technically on CLI, even though it's running in the command line parameter secure. But I can tell there that my CPU is running at 15% or thereabouts on all cores, and I'm running at about 700 meg with a few things open, and that's absolutely fine. So there's no real need for me to have a CLI either, but I have actually used it, especially when doing the ISOs. I do the ISOs by CLI. 99% what I do is in the command line, because it's quicker for me personally to do it by command line. Anyway, I thought I'd just make this little vid to explain myself, and I hope it helps other people to realise that I'm not against this command line whatsoever. I am just saying, it's 2019, we don't need the command line to run Linux. We just don't. We may need it sometimes to fix it, but even then, even in Windows and OS X land, you do need the command line to fix things. But when things are running smoothly, no, not at all. Now that isn't to say that you shouldn't learn the command line. I think every computer user should learn how to use the command line. I think every driver of a car should learn basic mechanics. And by basic mechanics I mean knowing how to find out whether there's fuel getting to the fuel injectors or carburetor, depending on how old your vehicle is. If there's a spark getting to the spark plugs. Those are on gasoline or petrol powered cars. On diesel, on DERV. You know, making sure that oil's going through the injectors. That kind of thing. Making sure the heated glow plugs are working. You know, simple mechanics. Making sure your oil is right. Making sure your water level is correct. You know, and all these preventative measures. How to change your oil. Cheap. It is a lot cheaper than going to your garage and letting them do it. You know? And it's literally one nut under the car. But it's dirty. Soap? You got soap water. You know? Just learn how to do things. Do basic mechanics for your car. Learn to drive. Do basic mechanics. And if you are stuck at the side of the road, then fine. You can save yourself a hell of a lot. You're not phoning your AA or AAA or RIC or whatever recovery firm you have, roadside assistance, you know, by learning to do basic mechanics. And the same goes for computers. If you can learn the basics of the computer, you don't need to learn the hardware stuff, but the software side, learn a bit. Learn, just get your hands a bit dirty. It doesn't matter, just get your hands a bit dirty when you're learning. And you'll find that you'll be more happy when you do. And the reason why I say this, I can't be bothered because it's all complicated. Yes, at first it seems daunting. I admit that, it does. But didn't computers seem daunting to you when you first had one? And you had to learn how to click on the menu, to select the menu. And I know it sounds easy now, because you've done it time and time again. You know how to change your wallpaper, you've done it time and time again. You know how to do other stuff. And the command line is no different, except you type in words. And Linux actually has a very sensible command line structure. What do I mean by this? The commands, right, ls. Now ls sounds silly, but it's actually just a shortened version of the list. And if you ask ls, you get a list of what's in your directory, in your folders. Same goes for cp. cp is just a shortened version of copy. Oops. Copy, which probably doesn't work, no. But you can cp. And it says missing file operand. You'll be going, well, what does that mean? It just means that I haven't given it what file to copy to or directory to copy to, from where to where. And once you learn that, that's fine. And then you can get into more advanced stuff if you wish, but you should learn at least how to list your directory, how to change your directory, to say, sorry, to videos, you know. And you can see there I've got more than one directory that begin with the capital V, and I hit the tab key, which is autocomplete. So, you know, so learn to do things, learn to install things through the command line if you wish, because sometimes it's faster than loading up. I mean, if I wanted to say search for something, oops, wrong one, I apologise. If I want to search for something, right, I have to do this now, password, and then I have to wait for Synaptic to load, right, and then I have to tap search, and I have to tap web browser, right, and it will go away, go back, and it's bringing me back web browsers, Infinity, Falcon, Firefox, right, they're all web browsers. All of these aren't, you can read the description on the side, and that's absolutely fine. In the command line, click search web browser. Oh, I can't type tonight. Mind you, it is 2:40 AM, so I'm making that. Sorry, it's not a guest search. What am I doing? Cache, sorry. So even I make mistakes, and that's fine. You are allowed to make mistakes, really. But as you can see, I've asked it to search, and you can see that it has brought up Firefox and its locales. Infinity, as I said before, a web browser, and so on and so forth. And there's related files for Firefox, Icelandic, etc. Icecat, another web browser. Index.html, PHP welcome page, because it loads in the web browser. Iridium loads in the web browser. So you can find things quicker. So now you've done that. Monkey, blimey. Didn't know that was still around. Vivaldi, that kind of thing, You can search for things, each different. The problem being here is there's no uniformity in Linux. And by that I mean, yes, the commands like ls and cp are universal across Linux. But when you're handling a package manager like apt or apt-get as I was, but you don't actually have after apt-get, there's urpmi, dnf, pacman, so which are specific to their distros. I mean, right. So there isn't like one command rules them all for package management or the search. But once you've learnt their way of doing things, if it's different to the way I'm doing it, that's fine. But once you learn it, you've learnt it. So it's a lot easier for me now to search for something else, because all I have to do is go up arrow, which brings up the last command, and a media player. I'm just doing, for instance, it's just what's entering my head, and there's media players that you can install. And if I wanted to install one, I would have to go to root, or you can use sudo in Ubuntu or whatever, but I'm on a distro that doesn't use sudo. I put in my password, which is my admin password. I can go get install, and what did I want? SMTube, just for argument's sake. I don't have that installed. And away it goes, and it's telling me, right, all these have to be installed, libdvd cs2, blah blah. Fair enough. And away it goes, it's installing SMTube. SMTube is a GUI application, a graphical application that I'm installing, and I've installed in the time I'm speaking on the machine. I could also have done it the other way, of course, using Synaptic. Again, I'd have to put in my password, I'd have to wait for it to load, and put in the same search strings before, and we'll see when we come down, we see that SMTube is installed. But I could have easily ticked that and clicked the where it says on mark, but mark for installation, which is greyed out because it is installed, and click apply and apply. But to me it was faster. Just to drop into a command line and type. So yes, the command line does have its uses. Very much so. Some things are just faster. To update the system, there's two ways I can do that as well. Now I could either go into Synaptic, I mean, this is the easy way, right? This is the beginner's way. This is what new users will be using. They go to the reload up here, and there's a little check mark down here, says no simple notification. A lot of distributions do have that, where they say there's updates available, and you go to your updater and you mark all upgrades. I haven't got any. You click apply, and it does. Or you can go into the command line. I'm already as root anyway, but just for argument's sake that I'm not, I've just exited out of root and I'll go SU. Put in my password, which you would have to do to get Synaptic anyway. I can just type. Now if you're better at typing than I am, you can just issue this command, you know. And so on and so forth. From the other advantage to CLI is that that's no delete whatever application. Qtsync isn't obviously not something that's needed, so it's deleted it out of the cache. So yeah, as you can see, nothing to upgrade. But there's a great trick. You can, if I exit, you can edit things. You can make things life easier for yourself. What do I mean by this? If I go CD, I did want to be root, didn't I? Because I'm going to use a root anyway. So, and then go CD. That takes me to the directory of root. User root in the root folder in the root directory. So I'm at user root, right? I can nano bash rc, for instance. I can't. Right, nano is a text editor, and bash rc is the file I want to edit, which is here. And you will see that there is stuff in here already done. Right, so that's all good. But you can create something called alias. So we'll do alias update. Alias update equals, and you're gonna need the is it that one or that one? I can never remember. Excuse me one moment please, because my brain's just gone to sleep, as it does. Cat will catalog, which basically will print out a plain file. So on cat bash rc, and there's an alias here somewhere, or is that? Ah, yes it is. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I need now bash rc, so that's apt get update, and that get dist upgrade, which is correct for this distro, by the way. I can now save that. 75 bus, yes, bash rc. Type bash to reload the which reloads this, so I can go upgrade now, or up, not found, upgrade not found. Hello, what did I do wrong there then? Or did I call it something else? I'm going to have a look. Cat.bash. That's okay, because that's the beauty about things. Alias update equals, yeah. Oh, I see. I see what I've done there. Oh, scroll down a little. Oh, I forgot to put the dash in. And oops, there we go. And I think I'm using the wrong. No, I was using the wrong. Oops, let me get back there. Because sometimes the apostrophe and so on look different to the hyphen whatever. So I'm pretty sure that is the correct one now. Yeah. I'll control X that, save buffer, yeah, special C, done. So, I spelled alias right, yeah. I'm just seeing. So, update. Update not found. See, it's gone back to the one. Why are you doing that then? No. Oh, yeah, of course. I didn't tell it to. Yeah, okay. There we go. So all I've got to do now to update the machine is type update and it's written out that string for me, but I've done all the hard work first. And sorry about the mistakes, it is early in the morning and I am a bit tired. No excuses, but I make mistakes. And I leave the mistakes in my videos. So that's all good. For instance, over here is a one here called fifth. Print target rep colour. On fifth pencil, so I've also got NeoFetch in DFCF. DFCF is, if I don't bash on here, it's this colourful telling me how much disk space I've got left, and the NeoFetch is this bit here. Gives a bit of iconic things. Anyway, those in Linux will know, those who have never used Linux, maybe not. So anyway, I'm going to conclude this video. Anyway, I wasn't bashing anybody who uses the command line. It is very useful and in the right hands, you know, it's really powerful. But for those who are just coming out from Windows that have used nothing but the graphical user interface, I just wanted to show in this video that that's fine. You can just use a graphical user interface to do whatever you wish to do within reason. And I say within reason because there are some things that you can't do in a graphical interface, and that is absolutely fine also. So anyway, this has been Simple Linux. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. And I will see you all again soon. Take care and be well, people.